the Central Texas United Methodist Church. We're here at Bend in Lomita, Texas, serving the Lord and having a good time. This is Pastor Tim. We're coming to you with some Bible background, some Bible helpful hints, I guess. Some of the things that I've gained over the years of studying Scripture that I'd like to share with you that might make reading the Bible more meaningful. It might be the stories that might help shape who you are and who your church is. If you don't have a church, I invite you to come on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock on Facebook and watch us live and be part of our church. We'll even accept if you want to call or send us a text message to become a member of our church. We'd be glad to have you if you can't find a church to which you can be connected or something that is a fellowship of fellow Christians. We'll be glad to do that for you. We're telling stories about the parables of Jesus. Some of the parables are a little more difficult to understand. They take some explaining, and so even then we kind of scratch our heads. But Jesus didn't mind using bad examples. I think this is probably a story that went around that actually happened. The parable is that there is a man who had a lot of wealth, and he had managers of that wealth. And one of his managers was said to be lazy and slothful and not doing what he should be doing. He was lax about his practice with money and was not making money, maybe even losing money. There's nothing about him being dishonest. We can summarize from the story that he may have been a little dishonest as well. But he was just not a good manager, and the owner decided that he was going to give him the axe, to say he was no longer employed there, which in the ancient world was a big deal because you worked for somebody for life. You didn't go around shopping for other jobs. There were not that many jobs around, so when you got a good one, you held on to it. And so he was the servant was the manager of the man's wealth, and the man says, "You're going to be fired. So settle your accounts, get your books in order, and turn them in." Now that probably meant that he had to collect the money from the people who owed the owner money and settle the accounts. And so he begins to wonder for himself. He said, I'm too weak to go out and work for a living. I can't work in the field. I can't dig a ditch. I can't do any of those things. And I'm too ashamed, too proud to sit and beg. I mean, I had a lot of things going for me, and a lot of people respected me, and to sit at the corner and ask for handouts is just beneath me. So I have to do something. And he decides that he has some control over the debts that was owed to the owner. And so he goes and tells people, why don't you pay me half and we'll write the bill paid in full. And he does that to 3 different people because he wants to get somebody owed him a favor. He wanted somebody that would either take him in or give him a job or help him out in some way when he was out on the street without a job. So he pulls in these favors, obviously cutting short the owner's income. Now, the part that you would expect was that the owner would come in and say, okay, I found out what you did, and now you're going to jail for theft, for embezzlement. But the owner doesn't do that. What he says is you are prudent and wise in what you do. That just seems strange for a parable of Jesus. But I think what he's doing is commending the guy's cleverness. The guy's willing to go to any extent to get the mission accomplished. And he's saying that many people of the world are willing to do that. They get educated on how systems work. They find out how to work the systems. They figure out ways that even underhanded ways to make a profit, to get done what they need to be done, and that Christians need to be at least as wise. They need to be moral about it, but they also need to be wise in the ways of getting things done, and not be foolish and don't realize what other people are going to do, and how the gospel is going to be spread out through the world, to do it in the wisest way to get the most result. And so I think God was saying, Jesus was saying in the parable, that we need to be as innocent as doves, but as wise as serpents. We need to be smart about the ways of the world, even though we do so with love. We have to know how things work and how to get the most out of what we have. Luke tries to clean it up at the end by saying that you can't serve two masters. You can't serve God and serve money. And so he's trying to say that, no, it's not good to worship money, to manipulate with money, so to your advantage. But I think that the parable says that we need to be wise in researching what works best, and wise in knowing how to get the most out of what we're doing. So that's a good statement to do in the church, even if we do it with love and with forgiveness. We still need to be wise in the ways of the world, to know how things work. So that's enough for this time. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you will contemplate Jesus' difficult parable. See you next time.